Hey guys, Julia here. Welcome back to another video, and you're probably wondering, a Weeklies video? Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing, but I thought I'd give it a go and set up the rest of April in one shot. I sort of avoided doing this in the past just because I think I was always kind of nervous that I wouldn't have enough room on a particular weekly, or maybe I would want to do some other sort of spread in between, but I'm taking the leap of faith and trying it out. Definitely stick around until the end of the video because the last weekly spread ends up being epic. But let me know down in the comments if you guys like to see weekly setup videos. But yeah, let's start her off. Of course, I'm in my jam-packed Archer and Olive notebook, and if you haven't seen the April monthly setup, I'll leave it up in the cards and down below in the description if you want to check that out before you continue on with this one. So if you remember, that first week was short and sweet, so we're starting this one off with the first full week in April. I'm going with the good old trusty rolling weekly. The lovely Elizabeth over at Plant-Based Bride inspired me with this setup many a months ago, and it's probably one of my favorite layouts, and I have it in heavy rotation, although I do like to switch it up from week to week. So any to-dos and definite dates will go down in this area that I'm working on right now. I also had a lazy or maybe smart moment with this and scanned my bullet journal cover page. Remember this fun little rubber duck pattern situation? But I made a sticker from the scan, and instead of redrawing all of this, I'm just sticking it in and saving myself a little bit of time here. So an area that I've been loving having in my journal the last few weeks, and I don't think I've filmed anything showing it off yet, but it's this master project list. And so basically this is a list of all the larger design projects we have going on that spanned over multiple weeks, sometimes months. And I've created a whole separate key that helps me keep up with where we are with all the projects. I think the catalyst for making this happen was me just straight up forgetting projects if they were stagnant for like more than a week. But even though I just started doing this maybe the first week of March, I think, it's already been super helpful and has even helped push projects along, so cool. But let me know if you guys want to know more about the master project list. I know it's pretty specific, but it could be adapted to fit a lot of different careers and even students, I think. So since this spread is all about the quickness, I'm going to use a sticker from the April Patreon set. I love how this whole kit turned out this month, and I was excited to get to actually use the stickers in my own journal. Oh, and really quick, I want to give you guys a heads up. There's some weird lighting situation stuff going on a lot in this video, so sorry, but I'm still figuring out this YouTube thing, even a year in. I figured it out by the end of the video, but just know it's gonna get a little weird from time to time. But I'm finishing this spread off with a little footer decoration with blobs and washi tape, and it's a done deal. Okay, for the next week, I'm straight up splitting the page up for the daily blocks. And I like this setup because I get a lot of space for each day and plenty of horizontal writing space as well. For the dates, I'm drawing in those little blobs with the tombos as a base layer, and then I'm going over them with the Archer and Olive acrylograph pens to get them looking super solid. So then after dressing those up a bit, I'm going to go in with a fine liner for the days of the week, keeping the lettering really simple and clean here. And for my duck doodle, this little guy is gonna be flying into the spread with a parachute because he's cool like that. But I'm gonna be coloring in the shape first and then going over that with the outline. For the parachute, I'm using the same colors in the theme just to have everything look cohesive. I'm using Tombows and my Staedtler markers to color that in just so I can layer it near the center for a little bit of a shadow, so it looks more three-dimensional. Right under that, I'll put in my trusty master project list, and that's a done deal for this spread. For the next spread, I'm going for that same weekly layout style as the last one, but I'm leaving that larger space on the right page this time around. I'm also changing up the headers just to spice things up a bit as I'm going through the different weeks. So I posted a photo of the initial setup over on Reddit and got quite a few comments that said, "Send them to the moon," which is a reference straight from the show. So I thought, genius, why not? So for this spread, I'm sending a baby duck to the moon. But before we get there, I'm going to finish these headers, and for the lettering, I'm going pretty freehand here. Just fun, bubbly letters with a mix of uppercase and lowercase letters to match the monthly cover page. Adding a little white shine to the downstrokes of the letters really make them pop off that header and just gives that finished look in my opinion. For the doodle, I'm using just the lightest gray Tombow I have, and I'm filling in that moon. I'm also using a stippling technique to give the moon a bit more texture. Stippling is just using different concentrations of little dots to give the illusion of shadow and texture. I didn't go too crazy with that because it's pretty time intensive, but I just did just enough so you can sort of get the idea what's going on. So yeah, the rest of it is just filling in the baby duck and his astronaut helmet, adding in some little dots and stars, and this little guy is done. The last bit of the spread is adding in that master project list. And yeah, this ended up being a really fun spread to set up, and it was relatively quick to make. This last weekly spread, on the other hand, was probably the most time-intensive spread, but it's a pretty epic ending to the month. This one is going to be another rolling weekly style layout, but with the rolling section on the left and the fixed to-dos on the right. Now, in the Plan With Me video for April, I mentioned that the Baby Ducks and Regular show turned into a full-on Transformers style robot thing. So, I thought it would be really fun and really out of my typical drawing style to draw said robot. So once I have the bones of the spread all set up, I'm going to work on this ridiculous duck robot called Hyperduck, and I really don't even know how to explain this thing or what to say in this voiceover. He has a trucker cap on, a crop top, some cutoffs, knee pads, a full-on Thanos glove, and remember those basketball sneakers with the little pump thingy on there? Yeah, this is pretty crazy, but it was super fun to sort of step out of my comfort zone a little bit, step out of the theme, but not really. It was just a good time. You know what? I sort of felt like a 7th grader drawing Dragon Ball Z characters or something while doing this. It just took me back to drawing Hey Arnold and Rocco's Modern Life characters and classmates' names for their notebooks. Can anyone fill me on this? So yeah, once the line work was done, it was pretty straightforward, coloring everything in with the Tombows, adding a bit of a second layer for shadows in places, and then of course adding a little shine with a white pen. To finish this one off, I added in those accent pieces I've been using throughout. Some blobs, some stars, and some washi. And the plan here was to really fill this page up, and I really love how it ended up looking in contrast with the much more blank and simple opposite page. Super happy about this final weekly spread. It's pretty badass if I do say so myself. But don't forget to let me know what you think of these spreads and if you'd like to see more weekly spread videos going forward. Before I flip through all the weekly spreads one last time, definitely give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Let's hang out and be pals on here. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. And if you like this video, here are a couple more I think you would enjoy.